Greetings everybody, welcome again to World of Warships. This is Raspberries Gaming once again with another new premium that World of Warships has released for us, and of course we have to give our 2 cents on it, of course, because why wouldn't we? So this is our first Italian cruiser, the Tier 6 Italian cruiser, Duca di Stoa. Now, pardon me, I'm not Italian. So, I practiced this a few times to get this right, but, you know, practice doesn't make it perfect always. Duca di Stoa. Her full name is right here. Emanuele Filiberto Duca di Stoa. That's basically what her name is. She is our Tier 6 Italian cruiser. Now, if you guys do not know, Duca di Stoa was in World War II, and then she was given to the Russians after the war as a, I forget what the word is, basically a war surplus. Basically, you know, you end the war and then you get the goods from all different from your enemies. And the Russians had this ship for a good, I think it was 1960 or 1970-ish, and then she was then scrapped. But she is in our World of Warships game as a Italian cruiser, because originally this was for the Italians. So she's our first Italian. And well, how she tastes? Does she taste like a fine wine on the sense of the Tuscan area, or is she sour like a sour grape? You know, that's of a bad batch of fine wine, so to speak. You know, something like that. Well, I like it, but there are things that some people do not like, and we'll go over it, but let's go over different specs. Now, I'm going to, real quick, do something usually that I like doing. I'm going to cut down everything to premiums. Now, there's a reason for this. We're going to compare this to the Molotov, because it's a Tier 6 premium, and that was the creme de creme of Tier 6 cruisers. So we'll be using that as our comparison. Not the Crash Bay, because the Crash Bay basically isn't really a cruiser to me. It is more of a pocket, excuse me, battleship. So, Duca di Stoa, we're going to put the armor up so we can both see at the same time, has 29,700 health. Not bad. Molotov, 28,400. Not as much. Armor, 13 to 70 millimeters on Molotov. Duca di Stoa, 15 to 70. The armor placement looks a little different, as you can see. But compared to Duca di Stoa and Molotov, the armor thicknesses are 16 in front compared to 13 in the fronts, which means a little bit more balance, so to speak, for Tier 6 cruiser type shells or lower caliber shells. And if we cut down the front, the ballast, the citadel becomes very small, as you can see. It is actually a inner wall to the citadel. Let's cut down the superstructure and the top bulks. So now it's only just the guns we're seeing and the citadel. It's pretty small and very narrow. It's pretty cool. So that means you gotta go through a lot of armor to get into that citadel. And the armor on the citadel is like 35 on the decks and 35 on the sides, and the bottom itself is 7 on the bottom. So, but unless you really are able to aim low, you're not gonna hit that too hard. Molotov is a different story. The citadel is very, very wide and very broad on the outside. Actually, the citadel is pretty much exposed outside of the deck. So if you angle like this, so to speak, you might get citadel hit. Compared to here, not so much. Compare that to the actual Duca di Stoa. You can go at an angle probably this pretty wide and actually still have bouncing shells because of the way the armor is designed. It's pretty impressive, actually, I have to admit myself. Because of the armor overlapping itself, it does have that little bit of spacing to cut down on the shells for the damage. Now, enough of that talk. We've done about on the armor. 10% also on torpedoes should add as well, which is nothing to scream about. Artillery. We have 4 twins this time of the 152s, compared to the Molotov has 3 triple 180s, which are bigger guns, of course. But that's understandable for that ship. You know, Molotov's got really powerful guns. But what these have is, if you notice, look at the AP velocity down the bottom. Do you guys see that? 1,000 meters a second. It has to be the most fastest fire range speed for our velocity of a shell. Let's put that to Molotov, which has 920. It's pretty massive, but not as far. Chance of fire 13% on that, and chance of fire is 7%. So, and with demolition expert, which I'm planning on putting on this, we'll go up to 10%, which is nothing to shake a stick at. It's not good, but it's not terrible. I have gotten fires on this. It's just not my greatest thing. Firing range of 14 kilometers compared to 15.5 with Molotov. Both can have a spotting aircraft, so you can increase the range. You have 3 twin secondary 100mm guns. Molotov has 6 single 100mm guns. So Molotov already has some perks that are better. But what about the gun reload? Can that buff up? Can that be better? Well, reload time is 7.5. Reload time is 12.5. So yeah, guns can reload faster. And if you put adrenaline rush on that, it will reload a lot even faster. Now let's go talk about torpedoes. Now Molotov has some decent torpedoes. They're two triple twins, two on each side, one on each side. Triple tubed 533 millimeters with 65 knots, which are pretty quick, and 4 kilometer range. So you're only going to be using this for very close range or surprising somebody from behind an island. That is not the case with the Duca di Osta. You have the same torpedoes in a way, but they're a lot slower, 51 knots. And they do go a range of a hell of a lot further. 12 kilometers. Which is pretty far, actually. Anti-air defense, we have a decent skew, but nothing to shake a stick at. So you might want to buff that with basic and advanced fire to get at least some anti-air defense. Maneuverability, maybe there's something there. We have a maximum speed of 36.5 knots, rotor shift of 5.3, and a turning radius of 710. Maximum speed of Molotov is 36 knots, rotor shift is 6.3, and turning radius is 860. So you do have a wider turn with the Molotov. But yeah, the Duca is basically a little faster and a little more maneuverable. Okay, what about concealment? Well, you have a concealment of 7.3 compared to Molotov, which has a concealment of 7.5. So yeah, this thing's a tad bit stealthier, not much more on the damage, but it is, I'd say, adequate. For tier 6, it is definitely a ship to enjoy. It's definitely not the king of B King's ships, but it's definitely a ship that you can say, yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool. Now let's go over modules, and I'll go over some suggestions for you. Okay. Of course, buff up everything you have as premiums. You got spotting aircraft, defensive fire. Now, it doesn't make your AA better, but it does help you and anybody else that you're near. You're definitely going to be using this more as a support craft anyway. If you go gun-ho on your own, you could deflect some shots, but once the battleship comes in play, you're going to have some trouble. So be careful. Now, for modules and upgrades, there was a few suggestions for me not to pick. Their suggestion was of the, here it is, main battery modification 1. I personally don't like main battery modification. Yes, it increases turning speed of my turrets, but I could do that with expert marksman. And on top of that, it does decrease my reload time for my main batteries. If I want anything, I don't want to sacrifice my gunfire. I like keep firing constant shells and doing massive damage. Main battery modification is my given one because I don't want any of my weapons or any of my major firing weapons to get damaged. Damage control, that's a must. And I suggested, they said damage control modification 2, sorry, decrease the flooding and fire extinguishing time. But I really, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to have a problem like that. Steering modification I always think is better because you can turn real quick and you can snake zigzag to dodge shells coming at you. So I always like debuffing the rudder shift even more than what it is on top of it, hence why it's so low right now. But then again, that is my call, that is my opinion. Now for commander skills, I think this thing could be played between the Molotov and not. So I suggest priority target, and then I suggest adrenaline rush. Expert marksman can be a secondary perk for you. You can pick that. You do not really need it immediately. The guns can rotate very well, so you don't really need to put even expert marksman immediately on. Now tier 3 is where things get a little dicey. If you really want to get some in-air defense, get your basic fire. If you want to do some more damage to ships, I suggest the demolition expert. It is 2%, which is not a whole shake stick a lot, but 2% is 2%. So maybe you could do some more damage to ships. The next thing I do suggest is advanced fire as your secondary, but I do suggest more concealment. You can get closer to ships, detect them, and get them removed, especially destroyers, especially the cruisers, especially when they're broadside. You're tier 6, so you're going to be dealing with ships up to New Mexico. You will be dealing with New Mexicos, up to Negados, all the way up to, you have a possibility you're going to be battling at Baltimore. And if there's any chance of you reducing your concealment and getting away from the situation, you will take it. Now, I don't know, it is a possibility, but I might get the inertia shoes HE. It will reduce my chance of fire, but it also increases my chance of doing massive penetrating damage with the ship. Now, Rads, aren't the shells pretty good penetrating? They're decent, but I've had a few shatters with this thing. And I think it's because of the way this ship's shell drag is. And at a certain distance, these shells hitting even battleships from far range, let's say at 13 to 12 range, which is near the maximum range of this thing, you're more cases gonna have non-penetrating shell hits. you're gonna get penetratings around 9 or 8 roughly. You'll start getting it there. And that's pretty damn close. And if a battleship sees you, especially with the armor you have, you're not looking very good, sunshine. So you might want to think about these. Now, I do not know if it's a great test, but it is a possibility, and I might do that in the future. It's right there. But enough chit-chat, enough talk. Let's get into a battle with this thing, and you guys can see how actually the Emmanuel Faberto Duca d'Ostra actually plays. Okay, everybody, we're on Two Brothers, and the matchmaking has graciously given us a tier 6, 7, and 5, mainly a 7 match. Now, this match, I'm showing you guys an example because I played this ship a few times. I'm not going to do a Kraken. I'm not going to do a First Blood. I'm not going to do any crazy, like, holy crap. I'm here to show you guys a rough representation of the ship, and I think this definitely shows you what this can do and what it can't do. That's why I'm picking this video out of all the ones I have. And bear with me, I've only played this maybe about 10 times. But 10 times definitely gives you all a rough idea. You know, you want your first impressions of this. You're going to get your first impressions after a few times playing it. That's all. Now just ignore what's happening on the left side of the screen. I don't know why. Let's just hit Control G, and I think it's Control G. Could it be? Nah. So let's just ignore that, whatever it is. Don't worry about it. Anyway, there's any Mahan over there. Now, I changed the screen for you guys so you can see actually what I did. And right off the bat, I hit the fire button. I noticed I was firing EP and went, oh, you idiot, and switched to HE real quick. Lead the shot just a little bit more, and he's starting to smoke up, which in most cases most people interpret as, oh, he's going to start slowing down. And he does, but not after a long draw, but it's a little too late when you notice his engines are out. And there he goes. A cruiser, not a cruiser, a destroyer with no, and I repeat it again, no, no last stand. How stupid are they? Now our own teammate, I'm going to rotate the screen real quick as some dodge shells here. That's not what I want to do. Control. Here we go. Ifuguzi, thank God for him, has graciously given us some smoke. And I did put up the hydroacoustic up for torpedoes and the defensive fire. And that's a good combo for the both. And here comes the torpedoes, and right about now I saw them coming, and I'm like, now's the perfect time to floor it. Now's the perfect time to floor it there, Raz. Very good. Now come the throttle.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal.
And I'm going to keep working on this York. It's not the ideal hits, but it is a hit. But Raz, what about that Saipan? You're not in range enough. So assume, I'm going to make him assume, shall we say, that we can't see him. Truthfully we can't, but we know where he is. I just gained deflection after deflection, so I'm going to pick Pensacola again. Why? Because that ship is deadly. And here comes the view, and look. See, I didn't fire on him, I waited. The Saipan is charging up here. I changed to HE because the armor on the deck of a Saipan is, as you can see, pretty big. And my guns aren't gonna hit that thing for squat. But when it's at angle. It's currently a different story. There's a fire. And I'm zigzagging back and forth because I'm trying to see if anybody can see me. Right now, I don't think so. So I'm going to keep wailing on this Saipan. He's used his repair, a full Hardy's move, but he's probably desperate to launch planes, so makes sense. I'm going to hit that York just a little bit more, just to give him some love. Just a little love from Raz. Saipan is still kicking. Let's fire some more shells at him. I mean, I could fire AP here, but this is just to be safe. I really want to get... There's a good hit. I really want to get some penetrating shots on this thing and maybe cause a fire. Now somebody's trying to shoot at me, so I'm trying to angle the armor to the most potent threat, which probably is the Nuremberg behind me. So right now it's just continually wailing on this Saipan. The York has died by fire. I'm still getting damage, which means only one of two things, and there's some damaging Citadel shots. That's coming from the Saipan. Nuremberg's behind an island. I want to throw torpedoes, but he is becoming the smart one and is angling away. Torpedo bombs are en route. I'm dodging torpedoes first. Saipan has died by fire. So, who says that the HE on the who says that the HE from the frickin' this ship is bad? They don't know nothing. I mean, Nuremberg, I'm trying to leave the shots just a little bit under the waterline, and there's that penetrate. No Citadel. That was pretty good. Maybe this shall do it. Citadel. Oh, and somebody... Conning took the kill. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna fight. I think I would have wanted that, but I'm just being salty. Now we've since we've been going crazy like this, we defended all that west side, and the other team bum rushed, failed miserably. Now they're down to 2 cruisers and a battleship. The battleship is on D side and is running away. Now, if you guys notice, there's capping C. Where's the other cruiser? Where is he?
Our victory is in sight.
Clearly not down there to Pensacola, unless he's really well hiding. So I'm thinking, I'll go down there, get the Pensacola. Hell, I'll go get the cap. But then, watch really quickly now. Do you notice the B cap is being capped? Because I just noticed it too. So, here comes my guns. Oh, no, Mr. Emerald. I'm not dealing with that today. Emerald, man. That was a cruiser that really made me mad. It's kind of broadside. Let's see these APs if they can do some damage. Not bad. Could be better. Nope. 3,000. Shells are doing pretty good. Confederate. And Miyoko takes the kill. It's fine with me. So, what is my initial thoughts on this ship? Well, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Well, actually, it is good. If I said it any other way, it would be really being picky. It's definitely to me a very broad scope of a Molotov. It's not fantastic of a ship, but it definitely gives me enough fun and enjoyment. And there's the match. But like I said, we're showing pictures of this ship as we go. I definitely love the Duca. It's not a one of my ideal ships I'll play every day, but for the first Italian ship being rolled out for us to purchase, it is phenomenal. The armor scheme is really well done. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get messed up. It's basic formality. Know what the hell you're doing, and you can get really good bounces, still wail on the target, and do some massive damage. But I can't fire all my guns, Raz. And are you still firing at them? Yes. Then quit your belly aching. Stop begging and stop playing with your toys in the tinker closet in the corner. You'll do fine. He can't pen you and you're doing damage to him. I think the trade-off here is better. So, definitely it is a decent ship for tier 6. Would I like the torpedoes a little faster? Yes, but if it did, it would probably make them a little overpowered because they're already going 12 kilometer distance. So having them go even 55 knots would actually make these things a little more annoying. So I think that's fair enough. Am I complaining about the HE shells being not a very good chance of fire? Absolutely not. That's actually pretty much fair and negatable. With demolition expert and stuff like that, you can definitely easily make the shells a lot better. And you saw before, I got multiple fires on carriers. I've gotten at least a couple dozen fires easily in a match. So you can't say that you can't get fires. It's some matches you're going to get it, some matches you're not. It's definitely one of those things that you just say, oh, but Raz, it seems like a piece of crap. Well, you don't know what you're doing. You know how to, and you don't have to. But I think we're just complaining over and over again, just bitter old self. So, look it up on World Warships, see if you can still get it. If you're watching this video, that when I release it, I'm gonna try to release this beforehand, but definitely worth a buy. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. As always, take care.